Kia ora and welcome to Kiwi Cricket Kōrero. My name's Otis Murray, joined by my co-host Vincent Jones, and we have special guest today on the podcast, Renee Simpson. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Good evening.
How are we doing?
Good,
Great,
thanks,
thank you.
Otis.
Thank you for having me.
So, do you want to start by maybe telling us a bit about yourself before we start today's episode?
Sure. I'm Renee. I've been a cricket fan for, 15 something years. A cricket tragic, you might say. A few seasons ran the podcast with my co-host Mark, Back of a Length. They have seen us on the socials over there. And we are taking a little break from that, but we are still very active at the games, very active on social media. So hoping to bring a small amount of insight tonight.
Well, thanks for coming along and joining us as our first ever guest
Right.
on the show.
Hi.
Yes, I
Oh,
think we have, yeah,
exciting.
yeah. So recently we've had the T20 tri-series with New Zealand, South Africa, and Zimbabwe, followed by the decisive two-test victory for the Blackcaps over Zimbabwe in Harare and Bulawayo. So we'll start off with the tri-series. So does anyone have a certain player that they thought did well across that series? Or I mean, I know it was quite a long, it started about a month ago now. I mean, so anyone got a player that they enjoyed watching in that series?
Jacob Duffy. Uh,
Yes.
but if, uh, but yeah, the bowlers bowled well. But if I had to pick a batsman, it would be Rachin Ravindra.
Oh yeah, yeah, fair enough. And
Mm. There you go.
I think for me it was probably seeing Devon Conway and back in some form at the top of the order alongside Seifert and Ravindra, who also I think
Mm.
those three dominated that top order from memory. Um, and yeah, like you said, the bowling. I mean, Matt Henry, he was always on point. I mean, he always has been. And as well, yes, and Jacob Duffy as well. I think he looked quite good. And I think from memory, Sodhi also picked up a few wickets along the way.
Mm. I would say Tim Seifert was probably my highlight of that series. Very interesting. He came in, of course, Finn Allen out injured.
Mm,
So I thought for him to come in and pick up some pretty good scores, a 66 in there in game three,
mm.
was very positive. And yeah, I think Finn Allen might be a bit nervous back home.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so also I think across that series, obviously we had that amazing final against South Africa that went right down to the wire with Terrell Brevis nearly taking his side home. And I think as well for South Africa, yeah, he was probably a high point for them. But I think they will be quite annoyed that they ended up losing that series when they
Mm.
probably really shouldn't have. They should have won that final game, I think. But does anyone else have any thoughts on that final?
I think New Zealand are just very good at winning clutch games over South Africa. I've seen it twice live at World Cup, so maybe that's just our thing.
Yeah. Any
Well, I
thoughts
mean,
from
they've got a
yours?
chance at revenge sooner rather than later, don't they?
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yes.
much.
Yeah, and I think as well, I think South Africa, yeah, have been known to choke a few games that they shouldn't have. I mean, obviously that 2024 T20 World Cup final probably has also thrown some memories in there for South African fans, I suppose. Um, and also we had the Test series following that T20 Tri
Mm.
series where Matt Henry once again showed his certain
Oh,
class with the ball. Uh, I mean,
how good.
yeah,
How good was Matt Henry?
yeah. And as well, obviously, we had Zach Folks taking the best ever match figures on a debut for the Black Cats, beating out Willow Rook's 9 wicket haul against South Africa in Hamilton earlier, about a year and a half ago now, I think it was that Rook's debut game. But yeah, does anyone have any thoughts that they want to share on that Test series?
We smashed them, and it wasn't fun to watch. It was boring in the
Mm.
end, and I don't know why they didn't push on for 1,000 runs in that final match.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
I
that's.
was so upset when I logged in and they were like, no, we declared. I was like,
Yeah.
come on, guys. New Zealand were at this chance. They could have had the best ever test innings and the worst
Yeah.
test inning scores. What a
I think
legacy.
as well. Yeah. I mean, like, obviously, I think quite a few people were hoping a few weeks ago that the West Indies might have beat them to that 26. I mean, I remember watching that innings from Stark and Boland and those guys in that final game against the West Indies, and hoping that New Zealand would that record would finally be surpassed. But I suppose the likelihood of
Oh,
that happening is probably very slim. I mean, 26 in a test is not very much.
no, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, but
Um,
I think as well the batting for New Zealand, obviously, like you say, that 1,000. I think if they had wanted to push on, they probably should have looked at sending Blundell in there for some time in the middle. I mean, he's struggled of
mm,
late. It's not looking good for him. I think, yeah, he's probably probably the concern in that side at the moment with the bat.
yeah, I was thinking about this and I was like, do you guys think it's within the spirit of the game if like Nichols had been retired and they just sent Blundell out to have a bat?
That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, I think I would. I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
I sort of understand I mean, he needed some time, and that was probably going to be an
Mm,
opportunity for him to score some runs. I mean, he only had one. I think he might have faced a couple of six balls in the first test, and
yeah.
that was all the batting he got throughout the tour. I mean, his keeping's good, but yeah, I don't know. He needs some. I think he'll need some time in the domestic game
Mm.
before taking on the West Indies later this year. That's obviously pending if he is actually going to be selected for that first test, but I can't see them shying away from him at the moment, unfortunately, I think.
No, I think he'll be there the next sort of year.
Yeah.
I really wish
So,
that I
oh,
was
you
gonna
go
say
ahead.
I wish they'd taken Mitch Hay over just for a bit
Yeah,
of practice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that was quite a common theme throughout New Zealand cricket fans,
Mm.
taking Mitch Hay and Res
Yeah.
Murray as well for that top order,
Mm.
especially with Latham not there. I mean, I'm going to bring this up and ask for everyone's thoughts on someone's certain favourite player, Will Young, and how we all thought about his mediocre series. I suppose by the batting compared to everyone else, he probably would have been wanting a bit more, I'm sure.
Uh, yeah. I think lots of us are wanting a bit more. Um, oh look, I think the second test was the big missed
Mm.
opportunities, considering what Conway and Ravindra went on to do. First test, you're pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Haven't played a lot of test cricket. I'll give it to him.
Yeah, I mean he
But
had
that
just come
second
off
test, I was pretty bad.
some T20 stuff for the Stags as well in the
Mhm.
GSL. So I mean he was probably the most well, I suppose Ravindra had been playing in the MLC as well, but yeah, I mean those guys were coming off uh
Mm.
some T20 action. And as well, especially those guys that had played that's the T20 series, obviously. I think one of the coaches brought up that transition from Test T20 cricket into
Mm.
Test cricket in the with different games. But I suppose Ravindra actually showed well. Sometimes you can be attacking in Test cricket, and in
Mm.
his innings in that second Test.
Same with Conway.
Yeah, I mean, Otis, any thoughts from you on that Test series?
I mean, the wicket was so easy to bet on for New Zealand. I mean, Jacob Duff even scored 35 when his first class average was about 10.
It's so
I don't
good.
think you should really be looking at the into the stats much. Henry Nichols, he's just got
Mm.
his another year stint in the test side secured. Um, so yeah, I mean they probably should have bought Mitch Hay over. I think it would have been
Mm.
good to have him in. Um, I mean, I don't do I think having the three debutantes was a good idea? Probably not, but it happened anyway. And then also at the top, Will Young, he probably could have done a little bit better and pushed on for that first 100, but it didn't happen. But he's always got the summer and the Windies tests.
Yeah, I mean, I think that New Zealand top order could potentially struggle against Jaden Steels and Shamar Joseph. Obviously, seeing what Shamar Joseph did in Australia when I think it was 2024, or yeah, I think it was about then when he made his debut and was really quite prominent for the against that Australian side. And I suppose he'll probably find similar conditions in the likes of Christchurch, where I suspect there could be a interesting. It's probably the West Indies batting that is probably going to let them down if they can't falter up from that from their last test. But yeah, any final thoughts on that West Indies series? Anyone? Not West Indies series, the Zimbabwe series.
Thought it was great to see Conway back in form more than
Mm.
anything. Yeah.
Anything from you, Otis, before we move?
I mean, it was just a boring series, and I barely watched it because we won by so much.
Yeah. I
So I s-
so wish, guys, why are we not playing a test series against South Africa now?
that's I mean they as well probably would have rather to play us than Zimbabwe, I suppose, seeing what they did to Zimbabwe. I mean, it probably would have been better for us to come up against them, especially if they somehow could have got it into the World Test Championship points. Obviously, New Zealand still haven't played their first game in that series yet. I think the West Indies series is the first game, and then it's England after this. So obviously, there's been a big bit of a big gap between. There'll be a big gap between tests for New Zealand. So hopefully, some of their players can actually come out and play in the Plunket Shield as well and get some first class form, especially Bundor, a key person for that with
Agree.
with others. So as well, that first West Indies Test series in Christchurch, obviously, I think the big question from that side probably will be whether they go for that spin option of Mitchell Santner or if they go for the four seamers at Christchurch. Obviously, it's quite common to see no main spin option at Christchurch, just with the wicket at Hagley, and the fact that as well, you probably will have Glenn Phillips back in that number 7 role. So I mean, what's everyone's thoughts on playing a spinner in Christchurch in that first test?
No,
Hard out,
no.
no?
Glenn Phillips is there. Rachin Ravindra is there. There's no point.
Yeah.
I was just trying to run through the order in my head, but I think you're right. Yeah, they'd love the four seamers down there, and if Glenn Phillips is fit again, he can roll the arm over.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
Durham Mitchell, a
Yeah.
bit of a not a spin, but another option there.
Yeah. I suppose thinking about it, I suppose it's Henry's a lock, and I suppose if Jameson should be back, so he'll be another, and then it's those final two spots. Who do you go to? Do you go to someone like Duffy? Oh no, well I suppose O'Rourke. Actually forgot about him. He'll be in there as well. And I suppose it's that final batting bowling all rounder, which is probably between Folks or Nathan Smith for me personally. I can't see anyone else. I think it would be too low for us to. Yeah, I suppose it depends if they want who they want in that number 8. I mean, Ben Says has only played one test. I mean, personally, I don't find there's probably as much hype from in that test squad as in the other two formats. I mean, he's probably more well suited, and knowing him, he'll probably end up breaking down. Doing Ferguson.
I was gonna say he's giving Shane Bond.
Yeah. Him and Jameson are giving those vibes.
Yeah.
No,
and Nathan Smith. I'd like Nathan Smith, so he'd probably be my choice for Christchurch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally more in the Zach Folks in the Zach Folk cut, especially with it being on his home ground in Christchurch. But I suppose we have seen New Zealand drop someone who played well in their previous series and then not playing the next game, with particular reference to Ajaz Patel in that situation after his 10 for and then not playing in the next game back home. But yeah, I suppose just before we wrap up, I suppose I'll just make a little mention of the fact that the domestic schedule came out yesterday. Obviously, we had the 2 Ford Trophy and the Halliburton Johnson Shield schedule coming out tomorrow coming out yesterday with the Plunket Shield tomorrow, and then the Super Smash next Monday. So obviously, everyone's looking forward to the season, I suppose.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Looking forward to Super Smash because obviously there'll be no internationals, I assume, across that period. So Yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
big fan of the Super Smash.
yeah,
I'll be out and about and
mm.
yelling at the players from the sideline.
Yeah. I hope that Auckland do end up getting all their 5 games back at entire community oval after last season only getting 3 because of the concerts. But I'm not actually sure
Mm.
what Eden Park's concert schedule is looking like coming up for the summer. I'm sure they'll be
As
wanting
far as
to.
I know, there's not much. Yeah, as far as I know, there's not much announced. Obviously, it can be quite late.
Yeah.
But good signs with I think all the 4 trophy games are there,
Yeah,
so that's a good
yeah, yeah.
sign.
Both sets were there, so
Mhm.
yeah. So I suppose that's a good sign for them. But hopefully they don't have to move them around to an opposition venue. I mean, I hope for them that they can actually hurry up and get a Colin Park finished in their venture and eventually move out there. I suppose that's a good sign for them that they've got another venue. Obviously currently home to Auckland University Cricket Club. Big
Mm.
shout out to them. And as well, yesterday, no, on last Friday, we had the women's domestic contracts out. So there were changes right across the board. Obviously, Auckland women's the Auckland Hearts had the biggest change with quite a few players heading out of that side and a quite high promotion of their under 19 youth talent, with especially reference to those under 19 World Cup players that have picked up their first contracts in Ian Lambert, Eve Meacham, Jess Smith, and Anika Tofari with Auckland, and then Darcy Prasad with Canterbury also picking up her first contract down there, and then Anika Todd making the move from Auckland to Otago. As well, we had a few other moves around the place. Yas Cream and Sky Bowden receiving ND. Talia Hurley also being contracted to Auckland and one of their 5 new players. Jess Ogden and Kate Pedersen being signed up by CD, with Pedersen making the move down from Auckland back to her home of Central Districts. Sam McKinder, Isla McKenzie, both being signed up by Wellington, along with the arrival of Jess Simmons from Canterbury, and then Abby Gherkin, Molly Lowe, and Kate Chandler all being signed up by Canterbury, with Lowe and Chandler being moved from Otago and Wellington, respectively. So, Otis, we've seen Anika Todd make the move down to you guys. I mean, what's your thoughts on her?
She's a gun. Both indoor, outdoor. Yeah, she can do it all.
Mm,
I mean, I think the only bad performance I've seen from her is like the Pacifica Cup final
mm, mm,
where she absolutely blocked it. But other than that, she's a good all-round player and she
mm,
can provide a good option for the Sparks outfit.
mm. And I mean, any players on your radar for those final? I think you guys have got 3 spots left to contract down in
Yeah,
Otago.
Saffron Wilson wasn't contracted in the first round. I suspect she'll be contracted. And then the other 2 players, I think they'll just look to the youth ranks.
Oh, yeah. So, has anyone got any final comments before we wrap up? Anything they want to add on the overall of what we've discussed today?
Otago coaching.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Do you want to go over that, Otis?
Josh Tasman-Jones, relatively inexperienced. He was the A head coach, is now the head coach of the Vaults, and then Andre Adams, who has been like Bangladesh assistant coach in the past, has joined as the assistant coach to Tasman-Jones.
Mm-hmm. So, any signs that potentially they actually might stick around for a bit longer than Northkey did?
Well, Tasman-Jones is signed up for 2 years and he's relatively inexperienced, so I'd say he's probably not going anywhere. I'd be more worried about Andre Adams going, but I think he's pretty set as well.
Yeah, I mean, and you've also got Gary Stead in your rank, so I think he's still sticking around
Mhm.
for a bit longer, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's advisor.
Oh, yes, I suppose with a semi-young coaching group there, I suppose he'll be of great assistance to you guys. And any last comments from you, Renee?
No, unless if everyone could just pray for a Will Young maiden Test century, that'd be great. That's my dream. Sorry, I just had to sneak that one in there.
So I suppose, do you just want to end off, Renee, by telling everyone where they can find you?
Yeah, sure. Mostly I'm over on the dreaded Twitter. find me at Ren Carrot, or probably just search Real Young Fans. But honestly, you can mostly find me on the side of the pitch throughout the summer. So if you're around, always come say hi. Usually I'm there with Mark and Steph. You'll know us. We'll have a few drinks and be yelling at the players. So please give us a wave.
And I suppose as well for our listeners and watchers, they can find us over on our Substack page, and then across our Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X sites. So thank you all for watching today, and we'll see you in our next podcast, whenever that may be.